So today, guys, I'm going to show you how to draw a face. So the first thing we want to do is roughly draw our face shape. And then next thing we want to do is we want to mark out roughly where the eyes are going to be and the nose, etc. So we know where everything will kind of sit on this face. So I'll say the eyes will be about here, and we'll keep our mouth somewhere around here. I'm not 100% sure, this could change, and then nose generally will sit about halfway. Okay, and then the next thing we want to do is roughly plot our ears, and ears are generally about halfway between the eyes and the nose, so that'll be roughly where our ears will sit. One thing you guys always ask me is how to draw eyes even, both of the eyes looking the same basically, and I know this is quite a tough one. It took me a while actually to get used to it myself. One of the first things I can say is sort of square it off where your eyes will be, because then that'll give you an indication of roughly, you know, the size of your eyes and how to keep them even, because your squares will be roughly even, won't they? Now that we've squared the sort of size roughly of our eyes, we now want to start drawing within them. So you can always use the oval technique, which I showed you. For this, it'll be quite huge if we kind of like fill all the way in. So what I want to do is actually use a different method. So I'm going to do a curved line here at the top, and then again on this side. So we have two curves for our top eyelashes basically, and these eyes are going to be quite big and cute and everything. So, and then we want to round this curved one off just here like this, and again on this side. Okay, now we want to sort of follow it round from the bottom. So here we go. Not too far down. As you can see, I've sort of stopped it here. And then again the same on this side. So round it on the edge and then just follow that bottom square. Let's just make this a bit more even on this side. Okay, so we've roughly got the shape of our eyes there, as you can see. I want these eyes, like I said, to be big and beautiful and just wow. So I'm gonna make these as big as I can, just so that they really stand out and that our character looks so cute. I just love cute characters. I'm obsessed with them. So as you can see, I've again added one line here and one line here. And then we're going to start adding in the space for the pupils, which will be roughly this, just sort of roughly draw it within the middle of that sort of circular shape we've made there. So you want to do another almost like ovally round semicircle in between. Okay, and then what we want to do is start defining this top eyelash. So we're doing that pointy triangle bit at the end for eyelashes, and then you can go as wild as you want here, or you can just keep it even like this and just make this thicker. Okay, and again, I'm going to round this off. And actually I've just noticed that There's slightly more space here than there is here, so you can either increase that or reduce this, but I'm going to actually go to reduce this because it actually will take more to rub it out on the other side than to just reduce this space here. As you can see now, it's a little bit more even. Okay, and then I'm going to add that little light source in, that little circular bit there, to show where the light is coming from into our character's eyes. And I like to just close this bit off too, down the bottom. Okay, brilliant. And then the next thing we want to do is sort of indicate where the eyelid would be. So again, following that line, original line that we drew, I'm just drawing that eyelid in. A lot of people tend to forget it, but it actually does define your character quite a bit. I don't generally put them in every single drawing, but I try to, mainly because it just defines the face a little bit more. And then next we're going to do the eyebrow, just roughly sort of drawing where you want it to be. Okay, and then the nose. So since this character is head on, you can always go and define this nose a lot more. You can add, you know, more definition to the nose. You can make it bigger, you can make it smaller, but since this is head on and I don't actually want much going on for the nose, I don't want it too defined and too realistic since it is anime manga style, so I'm going to just do this. So it's literally, it's almost like a little M shape, and we want to keep it pointy just so that it looks like a little nose. And these little bits for the M, keep them as small as possible because it will change how your character looks essentially, the more that you have going on around the nose and anywhere really. The more you draw, the more it changes how your character eventually looks. For the mouth, I'm going to draw a line first of all, and then I'm just going to tilt up the edges, the corners, just to indicate a smile. And the top one, I want to just briefly, lightly shade it in. And then the bottom part here, I just want to draw an indication of a bottom lip. So there we go. And actually I feel for myself that's quite wide. And I'm not actually liking the way the nostrils are looking. So in fact, I'm going to go back in and just do that small little curve for the nose instead. Because as I said, the more you draw and the more you define things, the less anime it starts looking, and the more it starts looking like almost a realistic drawing or a different type of style of drawing. So I'm quite liking the look of this. So little curved edges, just for the indication of a smile, and there we go, the bottom lip. And now I want to start defining the face. So I'm going to actually end the face there and bring this curve round and follow it round. So we just want to follow this curve round to this edge here, to this little point there at the bottom, and again on the same side. So roughly from the same sort of distance, eye distance, we want to start that again. So we're going to start from here and bring it round. Okay. Let's just make these eyebrows a little bit darker. Okay, so the next thing we want to do now is actually drawing where the ears would be. So like I said, the ears are roughly halfway down the eye, so we can kind of see midway of the eye there. I've started the ear, and again on this side. So you want to just add that in there and then bring it down to about the nose area. Okay. And And then, you know, you can add in as much detail or as little as you like. Again, I don't want to get too crazy here. Right, let me just show you the top of the head of this character now. We will actually draw in the neck because that is of course important, and again, like I've said, people generally tend to forget things like this. When you're done with a face and you're like, oh my god, this face looks so good, you tend to forget about your neck and all the other bits. But okay, so let's get started with the top of the head, just to start understanding how to define something like this, and then how to draw in hair around a face, because that's also quite important. So what we want to do is we want to round this off like this, and there we have our bold little character. And she's probably like, how dare you, you cow, you made me bold.